Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video, very excited because I'm finally getting around to filming the quints. Had a busy weekend, busy life. So I haven't had a chance to film the quints from Pat McGrath for holiday 2023. So I'm getting around to doing them now. So what I'm doing in this video is I'm going to be reviewing two of them, doing a look on each eye with one of each palette, and then I'll be doing the other two. So I tried to pick two that are at least similar. So the ones I'm going to be doing today are Bronze Ecstasy and Lunar Nightshade. So and now I have already swatched them. So this is Bronze Ecstasy, and then Lunar Nightshade is probably the most unique. And actually, so this is Lunar Nightshade. This is the one I'm personally most excited about. It's really pretty. When I swatched it, it's absolutely stunning. So these are the two that have the least amount of comparisons. The other two, I think there's a lot of similarities, especially within the quints from before, but we'll get into it. So let's get started. So I'm actually a huge fan of these quints from Pat McGrath. She came out with them last year. She had two of them. These are the two. I have all 9. So she's come out with 9 total. I have all 9. I'm actually a fan of all 9. I know a lot of people were not a fan of the Star Wars. They weren't my favorite, but more so because they were colorful, not because of the quality. I felt that the quality was the same. Now, some of the colorful shades did have more fallout, but a lot of times, from what I understand, is that colorful shades are harder to formulate. But like the mattes and stuff, I thought it was, the same quality. I'm not much of a colorful person. But the two from last year were very popular. They were Bronze Bliss and then Nude Allure. So Bronze Bliss was my favorite because of this middle shade. I mean, this middle shade is just wow. So I do some comparisons, but those were amazing. And then the other 3 were the ones from Star Wars. My favorite one is the one from the golden one, which was C-3PO. And this was just the most wearable, definitely the most wearable. The two that I don't swatch in either of these videos, because I've already done my swatches, are the the Divine Droid, just because again it's very colorful, and then also Sith Seduction. So Sith Seduction I did bring on vacation with me earlier this year when we went on a week-long cruise. I wore this one a lot, mainly just kind of like one and done shadows. I remember doing the green one day, did the blue one day. So I used this one a lot more. I kind of brought it like, I'll bring it for some, pops of color, and I used it a lot. It was really pretty. So it's kind of one of those that I use unexpectedly, but I do really enjoy these. Now, just like all the other 5, all 4 are made in Italy. So they are made in Italy. I think I put it as like in the bottom and in the title, but I didn't talk about it. In the other 2 palettes, the large ones, the eyeshadows are made in the USA. So they're like assembled, like imported ingredients, made in the USA, assembled in Dominican Republic. I don't know, but definitely not the same formula as her, motherships, and definitely not the same formula as these. These are definitely different than the motherships or those larger pans. So let's get into the 2 quints that I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so I already did some B-roll, and so I'm going to import these pictures in as I talk about them. So first, we're going to talk about Bronze Ecstasy. So the colors from left to right are Starlit Champagne, Merlot Mystique, Honey Nectar, Twilight Taupe, and Enchanted Bronze. Now, this one is absolutely stunning. You've got 2 mattes here. So you've got these 2 mattes here. All the shimmers are stunning. This is probably one of the more basic ones, but really, really pretty, and probably more deeper than you think because the mattes are pretty deep. However, I think you can kind of shear them out to make them a transition shade. This shade is absolutely stunning, just absolutely gorgeous. Now, I did want to compare it to Bronze Bliss from last year. So here it is compared to Bronze Bliss, and here are the swatch comparisons to Bronze Bliss. So again, there's some similarities, but you're not gonna have that middle shade, that impactful shade, but it's close. I think it's a good complementary palette, but not the same at any means. So if you do have Bronze Bliss from last year, I think this is a really nice complementary palette to, you know, complement, you know, it's definitely one that you could use together, separate, but I definitely do think they complement each other. Now, I don't think I did swatch comparisons, but I'm just gonna compare them side by side. If I did, I'll input them now, but I don't think I did because I didn't think they were close enough. But this is the golden one, and then this is Bronze Ecstasy. So as you can see, they're very different. This is more, you know, orangey, bronzy, you know, more warm, where this is definitely more bronze, but so definitely not a comparison between these two. So now we're going to talk about the most unique quint from this collection, and that is Lunar Nightshade. And I think this is the one I was most excited about. I think most people were most excited about. Honestly, I was excited about it, but I think I'm probably going to wear more of the other ones more. However, when I swatch this one, it's absolutely stunning. The colors are, from left to right, Platinum Moonlight, Midnight Iris, Pale Amethyst, Noor, Nebula, Neptunian Orchid. And this pale amethyst shade in the middle is just absolutely stunning. It is literally a pale amethyst. It just almost looks like a champagne, but with a tinge of just purple. It's just stunning. These two shades are just absolutely gorgeous. And this one is like a matte with, I don't know, it's just a really pretty matte, but I think you can like sheer it out to make, that's what I'm gonna try and do and make it a transition shade. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Definitely the most unique of them. I have not tried them yet, so I've just swatched them, but I have not tried them yet. That's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, so we're gonna start with Bronze Ecstasy. I'm gonna go in with this 4th shade here, which is Twilight Taupe, and I am going to put that all over the crease as my transition shade. Now it's picking up a lot of product, so I'm gonna try and just make sure I pat it out. If I remember from, you know, from before the last ones, this formula, it packs a punch, but it does blend out beautifully, as does all of Pat's mattes. Okay, and that just went on really beautiful. I mean, I barely put anything on, but it just blended out gorgeous. Now I'm gonna go in with the 2nd shade, which is Merlot Mystique, and I'm going to do what I always do and just put that on the outer corner and deepen and kind of smoke it out and deepen the crease. So again, kind of like my standard of what I always do, because that's how I do my eyeshadow. Okay, that again went on gorgeous, love it. So now I'm gonna go in with this last shade, which is the Enchanted Bronze, and I'm gonna go in on like the outer half of the lid. I'm gonna try with my finger first. So it goes, I mean, it is just so soft. Let me just swatch this one for you just to show you how smooth it swatches. It's just like so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna put this all over the outer half of the lid and kind of smoke it out, and then I'm gonna go in with the lighter shimmer on the inner half. Okay, so it's definitely a very smoky look, really pretty. Now I'm gonna go in with this middle shade all over the inside half of it, and we're just gonna use all 5 shades. Not something I normally would do, but for the purposes of this video, I want to try and use as many shades as I can for each video. I can't guarantee for each palette. I can't guarantee I'm gonna do that for all of the palettes, but I think for this one, I can. Okay, so that is how it looks so far. I think it looks pretty good. Again, for the purposes of these videos, I'm just trying to do them really quick, trying to try to use the shadows. Is this my best makeup application? No, I'm not a makeup artist. I've said it before. And usually I take my time with my makeup and I'm at my vanity that's not looking on a little viewfinder or my Baby Yoda mirror. So, but you know, I think I can do just an okay look and try and do the best I can. So, but I'm gonna go in now with this first shade, which is Starlit Champagne. And I'm gonna go in on the inner corner and the brow bone. And again, I think this palette is really pretty. I think you can do a variety of looks, even though it's pretty basic. It's a pretty neutral palette. I think with these 5 shades, you could definitely do a variety of looks. This one's definitely smoky because I used all 5 shades. But again, this is Braun Ecstasy. I think it's gorgeous. And that is my final look. Okay, so next up is going to be Lunar Nightshade. Now, Lunar Nightshade is the one that, like, I can look at this palette and I kind of know what I'm doing, right? You got 2 mattes, you got the 3 shimmers. I kind of can figure out what I'm doing. This one I look at, not only does it only have 1 dark matte, it's 4 shimmers, and it's a little bit colorful. It's not really colorful, but it's colorful. So it's beautiful, and I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm kind of stumped. So I'm just going to go. This could be a disaster. It could be beautiful. I really don't know, but we're going to try. So obviously I'm going to go in all over the matte. I'm going to go in as light as I can with this dark shade, and that is the Midnight Iris, and that's the only matte shade. And I'm just going to go ever so lightly and just use it as a transition shade and just try and go as lightly as I can so that it's not too dark. And that seems to be working. Okay, so that worked, and I love how it came out. I'm not big, I'm not necessarily don't like purple. I'm not a big purple eyeshadow person. I actually went a little darker than I intended, but that's because I went in deeper. I was able to buff it out and blend it out, but I just added more color. So that is the Midnight Iris shade, really pretty. It's the only matte. Now I'm gonna go in with that Noir Nebula shade. And this is the one that I think is absolutely stunning, but it also scares me because it's deep. So I am gonna do exactly what I did on this side and go in the outer half. I'm gonna go in with my finger first, but I may go back in with a brush. And I'm just gonna go in on the outer half, and let's see how this works. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. From what I can see, I think it looks really pretty. It's a little colorful, but not too colorful. So now I'm gonna go in with this Neptunian Orchid. This shade is absolutely stunning. I don't have anything like this in my collection. So I am going to put this on the in half. Now I'm gonna go in with a brush this time and try with that just to get a little bit more precision and put it on the inner, there we go. And put it on the inner half. Okay, so that's how it looks so far. Again, not hating it. Is this something, I don't know, I was gonna say, is this something I normally would do? No, because normally I would just go in with 1 color. However, I actually kind of like this. I would probably maybe tweak it a little bit, but I actually really like how it's coming out. So next I'm gonna go in with this, the Pale Amethyst shade. Now this, I kind of played around with some swatches, and what I did is I swatched those 2 shades and then I did the Pale Amethyst on top of it, and it changed the color a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to go in all over the lid on those 2 shades with the Pale Amethyst to see if it kind of tones down and lightens and just kind of changes the shade a little bit. And kind of give it a little bit of, just a little bit of a different look. And yes, it totally did. Yeah. Okay, and then finally I'm gonna go in with the shade here, which is the Platinum Moonlight. Gonna go in on the, let me get a clean brush here. Gonna go in on the inner corner and the brow bone, just like I did on the other side. And just to kind of finish the look. Now this one has, really pretty shade too. So going to put this, I like this shade a lot. Like this is just a really pretty shade. So, and then I'm gonna go in on the bottom lash line with the original shade, the Midnight Iris. And I did that on the other side. I did that with the light brown shade. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Now I will say there is some fallout. When I used my finger, there wasn't fallout. When I went in with the brush, there was. So safer to go in with your finger. If I was at my vanity and I didn't try to do everything, it's easier to go in with my finger, and I probably would have less fallout. So just know that I did have some fallout when I used a brush. If you are someone who doesn't like to use your fingers, then you might have fallout, but you could always use like a glitter glue or something. I did have an eyeshadow primer, but that was it. So that is Lunar Nightshade. I actually did use all 5 shades, and I actually really like it. Now, is it, you know, is it clean? No. What I think is, for me, doing a colorful look using something like this is pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. You know, if you watch other people that are, you know, much better at eyeshadow, you're probably like, that looks awful. But I think it looks pretty good. So, but I think it's really pretty, definitely very unique. And this is definitely something that I don't have anything like. And for $36, I totally think it's worth it. Okay, so let's talk about these 2 palettes. I think they're both gorgeous. Very excited. Now, I love these quints, so I think I'm going to like all 4. And in the next video, this is going to be the first one that goes up. In the next video, I will probably rank all of 4 together as far as which ones I like more, which one I like, and which one I recommend. So I think if you're, you know, very basic and you don't like a lot of color, or you're new to eyeshadow, then I would definitely say go with Bronze Ecstasy of these 2. Lunar Nightshade is definitely really pretty, but I think it's just a little bit more complicated to wear. And would I have worn this a year ago? Probably not. I probably would have done, you know, like kind of like a one and done shadow. Now I think, you know, any one of these shades is as beautiful as a one and done shadow. This shade right here is gorgeous. Like, I could see myself going in with this matte shade and then just going with this like pale amethyst just all over the lid and being done with it. Or even this one and this one. It would just be absolutely gorgeous. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this. So I think it depends on you and your skill level and your comfort level. Now, Bronze Ecstasy, I think, is, you know, very basic, but I think it's gorgeous. And I think it's a little bit unique because I think this shimmer right here is definitely really pretty. It's got like this like black undertone to it. I think it's, you know, really 2 gorgeous brown mattes, gorgeous. So I think this is very basic. Could you get this other places? Yes, but you got the great Pat McGrath quality. And the other thing that I love about these quints is the price. These are $36. $36 each. You can get 2 for $62. And you can get all, this is the interesting thing. You can get 2 for $62, or you can purchase all 4 for $125, which is actually $1 more than if you purchase the 2 separate. I don't really understand. I ended up getting the whole, like, you know, 6 palettes together, but it's actually cheaper if you buy the 2 sets of 2, and it's $124, but I don't know, you know, beauty math. But anyway, so I think they're both gorgeous. I recommend both. I think it just depends on what you're looking for. I think if you're going to get any of these quints, I think you definitely need to get 2 just to save a little bit of money. Then it comes out to like $31. And if you have like the 10%, it can even be a little bit cheaper. So, but I even think at $36, these are worth it. You know, her quads are like $54. I think they've even gone up. So to me, and then her 6 pans, which I no longer purchase, but the 6 pans are, you know, even more expensive. So you're getting 5 really great quality shadows. So I think these are both beautiful. I think they're great. So stay tuned for the other video, which is going to be about Sunset Romance and Bordeaux Bliss. And I'll be swatching those and comparing those. Now those have a little bit more comparisons. I think I compared them each to do 2 different of the other quints. And then I'll be doing the same thing and comparing them. And at the end, I will probably rank them, you know, initial impressions as far as like my favorites, just from first impressions. But with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.